Hey everybody, I'm Tom Garrubba with Echelon Risk and Cyber, and for this week's third-party risk tidbits, I actually had a good friend of mine here, Doug White. He's the Information Security Manager for Delta Dental, and we're down here at the GRF, the Global Resilience Federation's conference here in Washington, D.C. And we just wrapped up a session not too long ago, and we were really talking about the interesting panel discussion that they had on cyber insurance. And for those of you that are probably familiar with this, when the Verizon data breach report came out about 4 or 5 months ago, they reported that 62% of all breaches have occurred at third parties. So Doug and I had a real interest in attending this particular session. Doug, what were one of the key takeaways that you took from that session? What did you really get out of it and like?
The absolute need for insurance, because it qualifies as one of the risk treatments for transferring in the case of a breach, or if you're at risk because your controls may be all in place and you feel fine what you had, so you're not necessarily insuring yourself, you're insuring the entire company for all processes. And if you look at the numbers, and if there's 62% of your potential vendors that are at risk of a breach, that could be very costly if it happens to more than one. We all deal with many vendors, right? Large vendors, small vendors, right? And when you look at these large vendors, and we look at the last couple of years, then we see SolarWinds, you see Okta, these are all primary key players in the technology field and or security, right? So security companies could increase as well.
Right, and one of the things that we really had a nice takeaway when the players that need to be in the room when you're doing this type of analysis, we've had everybody there from the CISO, we've had somebody representing the broker, we've had somebody representing the insurer, and I think I'm forgetting one more.
There was the cyber broker, there was an underwriter.
Insurance.
It was previously a CISO, so he has a lot of knowledge in the area. Then we had a forensic investigator as well, and the cyber attorney.
Yeah,
also is known as a breach coach.
And that was the big takeaway that we got, folks, was having a breach coach, somebody that has that legal background, but also has that cyber background, to be able to assist in your organization and your vendor in terms of making sure that you're able to get your arms around in the event there's an incident, what the next steps would be. And you want to make sure that you're not just relying off of one person, that you actually have a panel people. You want to be surrounded by the smartest people in the room in that type of an event.
One of the key takeaways also was that the change that has occurred in these incidents, where it used to be you had 25, 30 days to resolve, a ransomware attack or something. And now it's changed to 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah.
And the exfiltration of data and the threat of exposing your data out there, publishing it, having the necessary support of all these types of individuals with it, or the forensic specialist, the breach coach or slash attorney, all key players, right? In making sure you have the right support to make sure that your incident management plan program is effective, right? We all know this. They're effective on paper.
They're effective on paper.
They're effective in tabletop exercises, but not the real world necessarily.
And that is why you have to constantly test. And I thought one of the other big takeaways that they also mentioned was this, folks, was if something was to occur on, say, Thursday or Friday, like before the weekend, please don't try to convince management that you're going to have everything up and running by the following Monday. These things take time. And that's why you have to make sure that you have the appropriate people lined up in the event of a breach, whether it's your own organization or the third party. And you're able to have those people in the room with you. And you're able to work that out, because now the clock is ticking. Can we have some last thoughts?
I also have loved some of the do's and don'ts that we went through. And one of the ones that stuck out the most to me was, and this is the forensic specialist who said this, is do not make contact with the threat actor.
Yes.
Because they're going to keep trying to make contact with you. Do not respond to it, because that actually starts the clock.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That starts the clock with them as to you have 48 hours to get back to me or the prices are going to go up. So hold off as long as you can. And again, folks, there's professionals out there. Please utilize those, folks. This is not something you're going to try to do on your own.
Yes, and as they said, it'll take away the stress level.
Yes.
The more you try to do on your own and resolve this or internally, and you have no experience, and it's your first attack, or and you're put on a clock of 48 to 72 hours, that's a lot of stress on a lot of
Oh, yeah.
depending on when it occurs, right? If it happens during Thanksgiving or Christmas or something, a lot of folks are out on PTO and, going to be unattainable or unreachable.
Right.
That's just going to add to the stress. Have these professionals on speed dial, ready to go at any given moment when you need them, and bring them in.
And that's why it's so important to make sure that you are aware of who the primary points of contact are at your third parties. When you have something like this, you have to make sure that you're able to identify the business contacts, the legal contacts, PR contacts, all of these people, not just in your organization, but at your third parties. Make sure that you have some type of registry as to who those people are, because if something like this was to occur, you're able to stay on top of it. So with that, I want to thank Doug for joining me on this session here. Hope you got something out of that little TPRM tidbit, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching, folks.